Appears to be collapsing under the strain, and at the center of it all, Kyron's stepmom, Terry, who has not even been named a suspect or a person of interest, but clearly the focus of this investigation. Kyron's dad, Kyron Horman, moved out, taking the couple's 18-month-old daughter with him. He has now filed for divorce. He's now taken out a restraining order, and he is living at an undisclosed location. We have reached out to Kane's family and attorneys for comment. No response at this point. Michelle Sagona, investigative reporter, bring us the very latest in terms of what happened on Saturday. It was a day of huge developments, and then what happened on Monday?
Apparently, there was a second lie detector that was administered to Terry Moulton Horman. Something happened along the first lie detector test that may have indicate, number one, inconclusive, or number two, some inconsistencies may have shown up. That's why a second one may have been administered. After that, apparently around 5:30 in the afternoon Pacific time, that's when a 911 call was placed from the family home in Oregon. We do not know who placed the call. We do not know the contents of that particular call, but we do know afterwards Kane and his daughter left the residence. They left the home, and then on Monday, the judge did in fact agree to a restraining order against Terry Moulton Horman, and also did move forward with divorce paperwork. I have the petition in my hand right here.
Here's my big issue: sharing secrets. Did the cops share a secret with Kyron Horman, Kyron's dad, the husband of the woman they're investigating? It's got to be tricky because you never know how a spouse is going to react. After all, Kyron Horman was with his wife when they walked to the bus stop and discovered Kyron did not come home on the bus that fateful day. Listen to the dad.
I was there. Yeah, I was home from work. I was working from home in the afternoon. And walked down with her to the bus with our daughter to go pick him up. So I was there when the bus driver said he wasn't on the bus.
At first, he was in solidarity with the woman that is hugging him, his wife, Kyron's stepmom. But now, Kane has filed for divorce from Terry and sought a restraining order. And that was right after he was fully briefed by cops on the investigation into his son's disappearance. So, Judge Larry Seidland, you have covered so many of these cases. What would a cop say to a spouse of someone they're investigating that would cause them to file for divorce?
Well, I believe that a lot of red flags were waved here. And the natural father of this missing boy had some questions. And I believe that the officer gave him some answers. And he felt his other child was endangered. And he ran to the courthouse, and I signed thousands of restraining orders over the years. And he ran there because he felt that child was in jeopardy. He gets a restraining order against his wife, and now he's also seeking a divorce. So he thinks something smells very badly here. Because under a normal
Judge, it could be as simple as a domestic affair. You know that.
No. I mean,
the timeline.
Look, yeah, exactly. I mean, the timeline is too compressed. That first there he is hugging her at the earlier news conference, and then all of a sudden, boom, he talks to cops, they update him on the case, and he immediately moves out with his daughter and files for divorce and files a restraining order?
Jane, the cops might not be right. I mean, they don't always get it right. And that's why I'm saying, let's not rush to judgment. Let's wait and see what's in the restraining order.
They may not have it right, but on the other hand...
Go ahead.
They may not have it right, but on the other hand, in a family that is strong and a marriage that is strong, you don't just jump up overnight and divorce your spouse. It doesn't work that way. I see other problems here, Jane.
Yeah.
There are other fractures.
Like
this was
what?
not a strong family to begin with.
Well, it's a blended family, and I'd like to talk about the issue of enmeshment. Okay, Kyron went to live with his father when his biological mother, Desiree Young, moved to Canada because she had become ill, kidney failure. When she came back to Oregon, it appears that Kyron's biological mom did not try to regain custody of little Kyron. And now she says the guilt is overwhelming. Let's listen to that.
It was the first night, and I just had this overwhelming feeling of guilt for not being there to protect him.
Why didn't she try to get her child back? Published reports say Desiree Young also has a child from a previous marriage, a boy who'd be a teenager by now. So you have to wonder, could the reason she didn't try to get Kyron back in terms of custody is because she already had a son? I mean, this is a very enmeshed situation, Brenda Wade.
Well, you know, Jane, she has also been very ill. Kidney failure is a very serious illness to cope with. And it could be she was depressed. People who are ill get depressed, they get depleted. But the other thing I want to say is today a lot of families are under stress, and maybe this family just waited too long. They should have gotten help a lot sooner. There was drinking, there were a lot of traffic accidents, there were problems here. There's a string of things that make me question, why weren't they in marital coaching? Why weren't they getting help? If a family's under stress, the right thing to do is don't wait, get help right away.
All right,
I'd like to
Elizabeth,
see
New
the
York,
school
go ahead.
records. I'd like to see the school records for the teenager and for Kyron. I mean, I think that might have a hint in it.
Well, look, I want to talk about
Could be.
codependency.
Absolutely.
You know, Terry Horman comes off as sort of this white knight. She comes in to help care for Kyron when Kyron's mom moves to Canada for health reasons. Now, is this a selfless act, or could there be hidden selfish motivation? I would kind of describe it as codependency. I mean, Brenda Wade, when do you cross the line between being a helping friend, you know, helping out a good female friend in a pinch, and becoming basically over-involved in somebody else's personal life and codependent and enabling?
You know, Terry's a stepmother. And if the other mother, the biological mom, wasn't available, maybe she was just fulfilling her duties. But the answer to your question is we know codependence is on board. When that person is doing things for someone else, they should be doing for themselves. But here we have a sick woman. So, Jane, it's very hard to call.
Yeah, but
if I had to
Brenda,
vote right
okay,
now with limited
look,
information, let me
hold
tell you
on.
what I would vote for.
Hold on one second.
Okay, I would vote for that. The real problem here, this is long distance. I would say the real culprit isn't codependence. I'd say it's possibly alcohol.
Okay, well, alcohol is a factor in so many crimes, and the fact is she did have a DUI, but we don't know for sure that she is an alcoholic. A lot of people can get a
I don't know for
DUI.
sure, but I put my money there first.
All right, well, I just want to say a couple of things. First of all, everybody is very fascinated with these bodybuilding pictures, so we're going to throw them up again because they're absolutely astounding. See the lady in the red you see right there in the T-shirt? Okay? Now, that's her a few years ago. That's pretty astounding. That's a pretty astounding change, okay? I find that very interesting. I don't know if there's any significance to it, but I find it pretty fascinating that that woman has changed. So maybe she was overwhelmed by the burden, Mo Dubois, of caring for 3 kids, and one of them is not even hers. What do you think?
You never know. You know, the burden of raising a child is a tough task to take. You know, and any parent who has to deal with raising your own child as well as someone else's, it can play a toll on you.
I agree with you. And we don't want to prejudge. She is not named a suspect or a person of interest. Fantastic panel. Thank you so much. We're going to stay on top of Kyron's disappearance in the hopes of finding that.
Okay, with everybody following this case, I don't recall Kyron's biological mother, Desiree, having a teenage son. Now, I'm not up to par on everything here, so if somebody knows that Kyron's biological mother has a teenage son, please let me know. I do know that Terry has a teenage son, but Jane clearly stated in this show Desiree had a teenage son, and she mentioned it around the time that she said that Desiree had to go to Canada. So either Jane misreported that, or Desiree actually has a teenage son also, but I don't think so. But somebody help me out here if you know. Thank you.